Hey, it's April Reed here, and you're listening to episode 1 of the Webinar Hustling Entrepreneurs Podcast.
Want to work less and sell more? Welcome to the Webinar Hustlers Entrepreneur Podcast, the podcast to help you scale up and take your business to the next level with webinars that sell for you. Each episode focuses on the money mindset, online marketing, and sales strategies to get you more leads and convert leads to sales, all with webinars. And now your host, business and webinar strategist, April Reed.
Welcome, everyone, and thank you so much for tuning in. This is my introduction show, and so we're just going to dive right in, and I'm going to let you know what you can expect. Let me just tell you who this podcast is for. If you're a busy entrepreneur and the only time you make a sale is when you're actually doing something in your business, so basically you have to hustle and get people on discovery calls or reach out to someone just to make one sell, then you need to be using webinars. And if you don't remember anything else, I want you to remember this one thing. Webinars equal leverage. I think it's worth repeating. Webinars equal leverage. When I first started my coaching and consulting business, I was not utilizing webinars. As a matter of fact, I was on Facebook, joining Facebook groups and posting valuable content in order to help my target market and also building relationships and being of service where I could. The strategy of building relationship is a great one because I am a firm believer of being in service. The only problem is posting in Facebook group 2 to 3 times per day, being of value and reaching out and trying to get people on coffee chats or giving them free sessions is a short-term strategy. And so I would talk to hundreds of people and reached out to 5 to 10 per day. Let me know in the review if you've done this strategy where you're reaching out to maybe 5 people in your Facebook group or potential clients just to get to know them. And from all this interaction, I would book about 7 to 10 discovery calls. And from all those discovery calls, make about 2 sales. Now, great strategy. I think it's a beautiful strategy when you're just trying to find that first client, but it's not a long-term solution. And I just got burnt out. I mean, I am an introvert, so I don't necessarily put myself out there to reach out to people. I mean, if I'm going to a party or if I'm going to a get-together or a gathering where there are a lot of people, I'm the type that will go find a spot on a wall and plop myself there and just kind of look around analyzing what's going on and finding some other lonely soul that I can maybe walk over and talk to. I am not ambitious socially and outgoing like that. So it's very difficult for me to be that way, even if it is Facebook and social media, and the whole point is to engage. So all this hard work, all this outreach, all these Facebook posts, I figure there's got to be a better way. This cannot be the only strategy on the planet to get clients and yet give value and teach and make an impact. That's when I discovered webinars. It was like, hey, wait a minute. Why talk one-on-one to one-on-one to one-on-one when I can talk one to many and basically pitch the same idea, give the same valuable information? And so that's why I love the power of webinars, because I could literally do a webinar and get clients from a 1-hour webinar. Now, I just didn't up and build a webinar. I had a lot of mindset blocks, especially around the area of it's being a lot of work and who would come, who would listen, what could go wrong. And a big one was not having the time. I mean, face it, there's a lot of ins and outs of creating and building a webinar. It's not just the presentation. There's the pre-phase and then there's the post-phase. And then it just hit me. I'm doing everything by myself. So if I don't have time to build a webinar, it's because I'm doing all the work. And I'm doing all the work because I'm not using webinars to leverage my time. Why not take one area from my business and put it on autopilot? or automate it. That one area, marketing. And that's why I love webinars. And webinars, to me, is the hero to the busy entrepreneur. So what can you expect from this podcast? I am a business strategist who specializes in webinars. So this podcast will not be all things webinars. If you're a coach or a consultant, we are also going to dive into online marketing and the personal development needed to sell on a high-ticket webinar. Each week on Tuesday, you can expect to learn how to get started using webinars, how to be successful on a webinar, how to keep your audience engaged, and how to keep people who are on the replay engaged, how to transition from teaching to selling. I know that's a big one. How to do joint ventures on a webinar, and how to close a sale if you're using the strategy of getting people to book on your calendar from the webinar instead of just sending them to a cart. So I am so very excited. I can't wait to get into the meat of everything I want to share with you and talk to you about. In the next episode, episode 2, I got the opportunity to talk to Natalie Fisher, who is a career coach who teaches professionals to build successful careers so that they never have to settle for less. Natalie just started implementing webinars and is getting amazing results. I am so grateful that she accepted my invitation to come on the show and kind of talk to you about her experience starting out with webinars. If you are on the fence about starting your webinar, you just need to get started. And I want you to listen to episode 2 because Natalie kind of talks about some of the fears that I hear from my audience that's keeping them stuck from actually doing webinars and scaling their business and leveraging their time like they want to do. All right, this has been so much fun. Thank you again for listening, and I will talk to you soon. Bye. Well, that was a lot of fun. Hey, if you haven't subscribed to this show yet, then please subscribe on iTunes. Bye for now.
Thanks for listening to the Webinar Hustlers Entrepreneur Podcast at www.aprilreed.com.